Hi, welcome to Cape Conversations. I'm Melinda Gallant, and I am standing in the middle of Three River Street Gallery, a fabulous, fabulous place. So come along, let's have a Cape Conversation. Well, here I am sitting with the fabulous Greg Harper. How are you? Good
I'm
to
doing
see
very
you.
well. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, I mean, we knew each other when the Cape was young.
That's right. And
And
the arts community was just redeveloping.
I think you had a
in
full
the
head of
upper
hair,
Cape.
and I weighed
Oh,
105.
know,
I think
did.
that's what it
did.
was
I still
at.
had big glasses, but I had the full head of hair to offset them a little bit.
So you're back on the Cape,
Yeah.
and
happily so.
happily so. And we are sitting in the River Street Gallery. How cool is this?
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's something that Naomi and I, thought about for about 10 years. We'd love to have a place where we can exhibit art and also live there.
Yeah.
Live above our station, so to speak. And so after a lot of looking, primarily at barns up and down 6A and things like that, this place came up, and we thought, oh man, this is just perfect. So,
that's great.
So we opened in June, and everything's been great. And we've kind of formulated it around an idea that we don't want to be the typical gallery. We want to kind of break the mold a little bit.
Sure.
Naomi's a painter, designs jewelry, and I'm a musician. As we were just saying, as an avocation. But it's pays for my son's college.
There you go.
But it's the kind of thing where both things can be expressed in this space, and that's why we like this so much. Is that we have 14 artists, including ourselves, that exhibit here.
And do those artists change, or do they stay the same?
Pretty much the same. We have the artwork change out. We will make adjustments as time goes on, as we learn what the art buying market will bear.
Sure.
We'll make adjustments. We have a kind of a theme that we base things on, and that's the spirit of land, sea, and sky. And so you'll see birds and horses and fish and all kinds of things of that nature, or things that are representative of that in some spiritual sense, I guess you might say.
Sure.
And so it all kind of comes together, and then we have the musical element, which we do at the openings. We're also talking about having some, I guess you call them house concerts.
Sure.
Where we invite regional musicians to come and play, and then we support them, and then we support also some other nonprofits along the way, like the
great.
Craft Emergency Relief Fund or OMR or whatever.
Sure.
We're still kind of working that out, but we'll start that in February.
That's good. And what are your hours here?
In the wintertime, right now through the 31st of March, we're Thursday through Saturday from noon to 4, and then during the rest of the year, we're open Wednesday through Sunday from noon to 5.
Oh, excellent.
And I think we're going to open a little earlier in the in-season this coming year.
Sure.
Again, it's one of those things where you make adjustments along the
Well,
way.
you've got people coming out of the Daniel Webster Inn, going to the Daniel, having lunch, going to the Belfry, going down to the Glass Museum,
Exactly.
Now, what's the address here on River Street?
It's 3 River Street.
So it's right off of Main Street.
It is. It's right between
Next to
Main
what
and
used to be,
Tupper.
which used to be the Doll Museum, and is now
That's
owned by a single family, I
That's
believe.
right. Mhm.
A very nice single family, people
Yeah.
tell me.
Yeah.
And across the street from Patrick Ellis's house, which
Oh,
used to be
yes.
the old
bakery.
the old bakery.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
We actually did a show over at Patrick's house
that's
and talked
great.
to him about all
Yeah.
because he used to be the tree warden, talked to him about trees and
Right.
et cetera. So, anyway, so now your avocation is music and art.
Right.
Well, although I think it's a little bit of a profession too. Don't you get paid
Yeah,
to do what you do?
I do get paid for doing what I do. I've recorded 3 CDs so far, working on a 4th, and so I am. What I see it as is basically my retirement.
There you go.
So as my voice changes, I'll just play more blues.
There you
So, you know how that goes.
Hey, you'll be
But,
like Tony Bennett.
Tony is a real inspiration.
Yes, he is at 80 years old. I think
Yeah,
so. I
and
think so.
You probably know the fact, we had an exhibit of his paintings.
I know
at
you
the
did.
museum.
I know. I actually had dinner with him once. So
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
That
it was
was such a
fabulous with
great
Dick, and
conversation,
yeah, he's a
with
great
him.
guy.
I learned so much in
Yeah.
that hour.
I
It's
know, I
amazing.
know. He's a
Yeah.
very genteel man.
He is, very much
Very,
so.
so, anyway, so, not to talk about Tony Bennett, so tell me more about, so you moved, where did you go? Because you were here on the Cape before.
Right, right. I was with the Cape Cod Museum of Art, as it's now called, for
Right.
a number of years. Had a gallery in Yarmouthport. Then I accepted a position with an environmental consulting firm in Cincinnati, which is my home area.
I know,
And,
we're both Ohio people.
I know.
And we're not from
just
there.
right down the road from where you grew up. But
That's right.
and it's been a great position where I get to use my background in archaeology and architectural history to work with clearance on federally funded or permitted projects.
Wow.
And I really like it. I've been doing it for 7 years now, and I was able to be transferred up to our New Bedford, Boston office. So I work out of New Bedford every day doing that.
Uh-huh.
Naomi manages the gallery here.
Right now, Naomi's your partner in
That's
this
right.
business, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And she does painting, she does jewelry design, and then that's who you'll meet when you come in to visit the gallery.
Oh,
every
wonderful.
day.
Excellent. And now, I know she does jewelry design, I think you told us
Right,
that, but she also does painting as well, and
That's right.
she loves to do horses, is that
Oh,
correct?
yeah, it's an interesting story. When we moved to Cincinnati, we lived downtown.
Uh-huh.
We had a beautiful apartment downtown,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd go for walks around Fountain Square at night, and there were always these horse-drawn carriages
Mm-hmm.
waiting for people, and so we kind of got to know the horses as we would stroll along in the evenings. And there was this one horse, his name was Henry, that really Naomi kind of took a liking to, a real connection there. And it kind of started this whole process going. And she began to paint the horses. We had a loft apartment in the old Shillitoe department store.
Oh, you're
in
kidding.
Downtown.
Oh, my
A
gosh.
huge place, and so we established an exhibition of her work. Had a wonderful friend who was a picture framer, a very creative picture framer, frame everything. She nearly sold out the whole show
Wow.
over a weekend.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
it just kind of
And in
spurred
Cincinnati,
everything
of
on.
all
And in
places.
Cincinnati,
Well, of course,
of all
it's horse
places.
country.
Well, it
With
is.
Kentucky next door across the
Exactly.
river.
We went
and
down to the horse park in Lexington.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah, which is so
visited,
beautiful.
all the different horses down there. And so, there's the physical beauty of the horse, and there's the spiritual energy of the horse too, which I think she connected with, and I think most people connect with.
Sure.
And so her images have been very popular here at
Oh,
the gallery.
that's great. Now, you don't paint or you do paint?
I don't, no.
You don't?
I don't paint or draw to speak of, but I have one project that I'm proud of. I do a couple things here that are art related. Number one, we have a good friend, Kathy Enos, who's jewelry and handbags. She's from West Yarmouth, and we represent her here. Well, she years ago created these beautiful belt buckles in copper and bronze.
Oh,
And back when I was in college, I used to make belts like they were, going out of style. And so when I found out about that, we asked her for the buckles, and so I've created a whole line of
Wow.
belts based on those buckles.
great.
And now we're looking at some other artisans who create buckles, and we'll kind of develop that as part of the gallery here.
Nice.
And then a number of years ago, I made a sailor's valentine as
Oh.
a gift for Naomi.
Oh,
And
nice.
then had this crazy idea that, boy, wouldn't that make a nice serving tray? Because and what gave me the idea was it's done in a shadow box, so there's a deep box.
Right.
And I thought, well, if I photograph the image and then find a company to create an octagonal lacquered tray
Sure.
with that image in the bottom, it's sailor's valentine, but it's very functional.
Sure.
And so I did that, and so we have those here at the gallery.
Oh,
also.
wow, that's
Yeah.
great. Now, do you have a website as well?
We do, yes.
And it is?
www.3riverstreetstudio.com.
Oh, easy enough.
Yeah, very
Easy enough.
easy,
Can you
yeah.
buy through that as well?
Not necessarily. We haven't
Okay.
started that process yet.
Uh-huh.
We find that, a lot of artwork of this nature, you really have to,
Come
especially
see it.
paintings.
Yeah.
You
Well,
really have to look
paintings,
at
yeah.
it and see, some of the surface detail that is not necessarily evident even in the finest photograph.
Sure,
So it's,
sure. Sure.
But
And last year, who did you get coming through here? I mean, what?
all kinds of people, everyone from collectors,
No.
from local folks in town,
Just
that are
being
here on
nosy.
seasonal.
See, that would be me on my
Well,
bike.
but,
I'd ride
and
by
that's
and
the
was
funny
like-
part, is a lot of people say, I always wondered what this place looked like on the inside.
Isn't that
Because it's
funny?
the only modern design building
Oh,
in
yeah.
the town.
Yeah,
And so people are fascinated by it, and they come in, and sometimes they buy the work that we have here, or they come back and so forth. But so there's a mixture of people who are serious art collectors, those who want to see what the building looks like, and those who are considering collecting down the line, and,
Sure.
or have heard about us and want to see what we have. So it's a real mixture. And we were kind of thinking the art market's been pretty bad over
well,
these
since
past
the
couple of
recession,
years.
yeah. Yeah.
And we feel like we did very well.
Oh, that's
in
great.
our first year in business, and so we'll make some adjustments and see how the next year goes. as
Sure,
well.
sure. Well, I think, you're in such a unique location, and it is a historic town, so I can certainly understand why people would go by and go, what?
Yeah, exactly.
And then come in and be totally blown away with,
Yeah.
with how beautiful it is. The space is just lovely.
Thank you.
And this was designed by,
A guy by the name of Thomas Hickstall bought the house in the late 70s
Mm-hmm.
and spent 30 plus years taking it from an 1857 Cape Cod to the modern design building that you see now. Very much influenced by Japanese design.
oh, you can tell that,
He
yeah.
was a very gifted carpenter, so all the woodwork in here is done by
Wow.
him, the floors. And if you look at the lattice work out on the deck,
Mm-hmm.
he hand built all of that.
Wow.
And it's not Victorian decorative lattice work.
No.
It's very modern design,
Right,
but
right.
what he accomplished is quite incredible.
Well, and I think if people come here and come to the outside of this
Mm-hmm.
building, they'll see how well it fits in with the surroundings, although it's not an antique. I mean, it is an
That's right.
antique. I mean, obviously it's an antique, the structure itself is, but they will see, it fits in. I mean, so he obviously really, really was a
He
gifted man to
Found the
be able to
right
do that.
setting, the right building
Right.
in the right setting, and in the Japanese idea, the design
Mm-hmm.
that's sort of at the core of all of this is perfect for this setting with the brook in the backyard and
Right.
the willow tree. I mean, it has a very Asian feel to it.
Yeah,
and,
it does. Beautiful.
And we found that a lot of the Europeans that would visit, and Canadians that would visit Sandwich, would come into the gallery and just were completely stunned by the fact that there's this beautiful village, which they love.
Right.
And then there's this beautiful building in that village,
Right.
which they also love for different reasons.
Right.
So we met a lot of great people from Germany and the Netherlands and France and England and Scotland and Quebec and so
Oh,
forth.
that's
you know,
great.
just because they were fascinated by the architecture.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. Now, tell me, okay, so you moved to, as we used to call it in Ohio, Cincinnati. Cincinnati. You moved to Cincinnati and you came back 2 years ago
Just
now?
about a year ago.
Just about a year
Yeah,
ago.
just over a year.
And you found this perfect
We
location.
did.
And so what does the future hold for you?
Well, we'll just have to, keep going as we go. I mean, it's the art market is in I think, a major adjustment right now because of the economy and the uncertainty that still lies ahead. Even with Europe's economy as it is right now, European visitors may travel, but they may not buy art for us to ship back to them in
Right.
England or whatever.
Right.
So, we're not sure how that goes. As I said, we've been very pleased with our first 8 months in operation. And we'll make those adjustments. We'll look to see how the economy and just the general nature of Cape Cod, as you know, which turns off sort of in the off season.
Right. Less
turns
than it
back
used
on.
to, less than it used to,
Yes,
but
and that's the
still
good
does
news.
a
The
little
shoulder
bit.
season is sort of like the salvation of a business like this.
Sure,
And so,
sure.
and we're trying to energize it in the off season with the musical component. We're trying to energize it in the off season also by, in a way, breaking the mold of a traditional gallery by sponsoring an exhibition during the holiday season where the artwork is not necessarily for sale. This past holiday, we exhibited Elizabeth Gurrier's quilts and trapunto work.
Wow.
She's internationally renowned. Her work is in the Renwick Gallery at the Smithsonian. And she lived in Yarmouthport until she passed away about 5, 6 months ago. And so we wanted to do a tribute exhibition to Betty. So we had a number of
Did
these.
you know her from the Cape Cod
We
Museum?
did,
or
and
the-
Naomi was a good friend of hers
Oh,
also.
wonderful.
And so we just wanted to do this for Betty and for the family, and so we had probably 20-some pieces in here. Beautiful,
Wow.
beautiful arrangement. And we were on the Holidays home tour, of
Oh,
course.
wonderful,
And so we
of course.
had 300-400 people in here to see it that day.
Wonderful, that's
They
great.
all brought their friends back.
Yeah.
But none of it was for sale, so people felt comfortable coming in just to
Right.
see this exhibition, not feeling pressure that they had to buy anything. And some of them did, and that was great. And but so we're going to start this as a tradition, and this
Excellent.
next holiday we'll have a different artist. And,
Wonderful.
so that you can just come in and enjoy it.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, do you think that because you were, because of your background and you were an executive director with a local art museum, has that given you a kind of a leg up in what you think about doing here and how you do things here? Because you kind of know, if I were an art, I think the worst people in the world for marketing are artists. I really do.
I think that it helps, and especially with the digital age, in full swing. Sometimes galleries have to kind of reevaluate. Well, what service do we provide?
Right.
Now that you can go to you could always go to an artist studio
Right.
and talk to them directly. But now you can go to an artist's website. And,
That's right.
And many, as you questioned before about whether or not you can buy our artwork online.
Or a piece of jewelry, or,
Yeah.
So if I were here and went back to California and I had seen a piece of jewelry here or a piece of art, I'm sure I could contact you and get it through
Exactly,
the,
and we've had that.
Yeah,
We've had people
sure.
call us
But I'm
from
at,
Dayton,
here's my
Ohio,
credit
and say,
card.
Exactly, I want that necklace, if you still have it, I want that
Right,
necklace, and we
right.
ship it out to them, and,
Right.
but they came here, they try, and especially with jewelry, they get to try it on, so make sure it looks good and the
Sure.
proportions right and so forth, but, and same thing with a painting, is it a subject, is the way it's made, is it something that you can connect with, and so the galleries are good for that. The galleries are good for, I think, giving artists the chance to go make the art, and we promote it for them.
Oh, that's great.
And so it supports the arts community. It supports us too, supporting the arts community.
Sure, sure.
So, and I think.
So this isn't a co-op?
No, this is not a co-op. No,
Okay.
we
You
operate
definitely,
it for the
as a
artists.
representative.
They make the work, as I said. We sell it for them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And promote them in the process.
Oh, sure.
So,
Sure.
but Liz Prescott, who is a friend of Naomi's from Maine,
Mm-hmm.
whose bird paintings we have done very well with this year, has been invited to do an exhibition at the Cahoon Museum
Oh,
coming
that's
up
great.
in February.
That's great.
So it extends beyond just selling the artwork, but
Sure.
other people who were now in the position I used to hold are finding these artists
Right.
and saying more people need to know about this person.
Now, I hear, though, that since you are Mr. Music Man,
I
that you're going to be playing soon at Cotuit Center for the Arts.
am. I'll be there next Wednesday for the wine and music program, which I think they have once a month,
We do?
and we love it there. I've enjoyed playing for the open mics at the Art Barn,
Oh, sure.
and we.
I didn't know you played there at the open mics.
I
Oh, my
did. I
gosh.
was at past two. I
Oh, wow,
performed
I
there.
had no idea.
And
Just
so
what
it's
I need
just
to read
been-
my newsletter.
So, it's been great, and I've kind of found my niche here in the Upper Cape.
Sure.
I play, all last summer, I played at the Brown Jug on their patio
I know you
every
did.
Sunday.
I saw it on Facebook.
And yeah, there you go, Facebook. Boy,
Thank you.
incredible
Social
promo.
media.
And then during the holidays, I played on Sundays during brunch at the Belfry.
Oh,
And
great.
now, starting last month, I began doing a folk night at the Beehive Tavern every
Oh,
Monday
fun,
night.
fun.
From 6 to 9, I'm there.
Oh, wonderful.
And it's a new thing for them. They just got their
Yeah.
permits to
Yeah,
have
entertainment
music
license, yeah.
there. And so I'm there every Monday night from 6 to 9, which is a
Great.
heck of a lot of fun. And then I'll be at my old stomping grounds at the Cape Museum of Fine Arts, or the Cape Cod
The
Museum of
Art.
on the 22nd of January, doing a concert of my own material.
Oh, wonderful.
For an hour during their Music and More program.
Oh, wonderful. Now, will you be upstairs or downstairs in the theater part?
I'll be upstairs in
the gallery
in the
area?
Houghton Clennon Gallery,
Oh,
which
wonderful.
I'm thrilled about.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that
Great
was the
acoustics
first
there,
gallery
too.
that we finished,
Right.
when we were renovating the
Right.
building and building it up. And so, I joke with people that, I spent nights in that gallery while they were refinishing the floors, because we didn't have a big security budget, so
Right.
it was up to me to keep an eye on things. But anyway, it was, I'm thrilled about going back there in
That's
totally
great.
new capacity.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Well, I remember one of the galleries was when we did First Night Cape Cod. We did it. We used it as our kickoff, our launch for doing it on the Cape, and nothing was finished, and it was quite cold in there.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
very fun. It was fun. It was a fun
Yeah.
thing to do because it represented this is what it's going to be like, guys.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
know. It
anyway,
was the
oh, that's great.
skeleton.
All right, so you going to play for us?
I would love to.
All right, great.
Okay, this is a tune called Walking Beauty, and it's from my Dragonfly CD. When the winter sky is soft and gray, wind is sharp, snow is late, snow prints keep the story of our past. The sun decides to reappear, sky blue is rich, light is fierce, we're warm, dream of days to come. When the birds sing the earth away, new life claims its real estate, primavera struggles to return. Dogwoods and the red buds raining, winter melts in April rain. We're warm, dream of days to come. You walk in flowers, you walk on clouds, you walk on moonbeams, I sing out loud. So I have to tell you, when I'm with you, I walk in beauty, my love. When the summer brings its searing heat, smell the asphalt from the street, the air is damp and often hard to take. Then we see the dragonfly and hear the crickets sing at night. We're warm, dream of days to come. You walk in flowers, walk on clouds, walk on moonbeams, I sing out loud, 'cause I have to tell you, when I'm with you, I walk in beauty, my love. When the autumn light is honeycomb, grapes are fresh, the wine is old, trees begin their long waited sleep. Eat the feast made by our hands and drink the colors of the land. We're warm, dream of days to come. You walk in flowers, you walk on clouds, you walk on moonbeams, I sing out loud, 'cause I have to tell you, when I'm with you, I walk in beauty, my love.
Wasn't Greg Harper outstanding? This is such a beautiful place. We are so lucky here in Sandwich to have folks like this who've been on the Cape, went away, came back, and now they've located here. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing for all of us to be able to share this. Anyway, he has 3 CDs out. Better pick them up after you heard that music. I bet you want to. They're located at Momo's. You can get them at Momo's or Spinnaker's or the Chat House in Dennis. In any case, thank you for joining me today for a Cape Conversation.